Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's David Palmer, the Leo King. It is March 30th of 2017. It is almost Friday, and Friday is going to end the month, and it's kind of the end of the week for people. Kind of interesting, and there is a lot going on right now that I want to talk about. We're going to wait a second for people to get in the room, but there's a lot going on that's very unique in the astrology. Number one, Jupiter is squaring Pluto today in exact. So the biggest planet is squaring the smallest planet, which I always think is really funny because even though Pluto is the smallest planet, it packs one of the biggest punches in the zodiac. With Jupiter being the biggest planet, it also packs one of the biggest punches in the zodiac. So when you have two of the most intense planets in square, both have to deal with change, both have to deal with exploration in different ways. There's a lot to kind of add to what we look at the astrology. So how many people we got in here, Craig, right now?
So it's a little bit over 100.
All right, so we got some people. Once I get almost a couple more people, we're gonna go on because I don't want to waste my time with this. We got a little wind
We're at
too.
203 now.
Oh, we're at 203. All right, I might as well. I'm just trying to share this to my other Facebook before we go. Hope you guys are doing good out there. There's a lot to talk about right now that I really want to talk about. Also, while I'm kind of doing this, I have an awesome pay-per-view that's coming out on Sunday. It's a live show that I'm also doing in San Diego. So if you happen to be in San Diego, please go to the website, pathoftheprophecies.com. We're going to be talking about alien stuff. We're going to be talking about old stuff that has to do with like ancient spiritual things. And I'm going to connect it with... Who was it? Was it
Tom.
Oh, I'll have to call him later. But anyway, so please check that out, pathoftheprophecies.com. It's going to be a live thing, and we're doing a live meditation at 5 p.m. Pacific during the pay-per-view when Venus moves back from Aries into Pisces, which is going to happen exactly on Sunday at about 5:30 p.m. So a lot of things going on with there. But let's talk about this Jupiter square Pluto. Biggest power punch square in the zodiac. Literally, I've always called it that because it is the biggest, it is the smallest, and change. People ready to make massive change. Mercury's on the last degree of Aries, it's ready to go into Taurus. And at the same time, we need to talk about Taurus. The big thing that's going on is the moon is on top of Mars in Taurus right now. And this is the last time it'll pretty much be there because literally by the next time in 30 days when the moon comes back around into Taurus, Mars will be leaving Taurus and be in Gemini. So this is this last moment here of us really starting to feel what our true worth is, what we want to go create and build with our life. But there's a lot that's got to build through April. You know, there is some massive things stirring. This Jupiter square Pluto is massive things that are stirring in our life, ready to change. And it's almost kind of like a huge zit ready to pop in your face. Like, you know, so it's like there's this zit that's been building up, you know, and it might be a beautiful zit, or I'm trying to think of something beautiful that's ready to blow up. Like a firework that's ready to just crack, right? Like it's launched in the air, it's up in the grand finale, it's coming here in April, that's gonna clear all the karma of the last 18 months, not only because this is an 18-month cycle of Venus, but how ironic that the nodal cycle as well is getting ready to finish its cycle in April of an 18th month cycle. Same time happening with Venus. So, you know, the last year and a half of your life has really kind of flopped on you. And now there's this huge firework about to explode, this huge zit ready to explode in your face. But it's got, you know, it's not gonna be, it's almost like it's about to happen, but it hasn't yet. Like Mercury at 29 degrees in Aries, like, well, what is it? What is it? It's trying to figure it out. The 29th degree of Aries is really intense. It has to deal with huge parts of the cranial and in the brain. It also has to kind of do with, you know, identifying. It's very edgy, it's very intense. And then remember, Mercury's going retrograde literally in the next 11 days on April 10th. We have Saturn going retrograde on April 6th. So within the next week and a half, major paradigm shifts about to happen. You know, Saturn is stopping on the galactic center point right now while this Jupiter-Pluto is squaring. So it is like destinies are happening. People are coming back in your life from March and April of 2009, because that was when Venus retrograded in this spot again, and we haven't even seen the deeper karma of relationships and people coming back and projects changing until April 2nd, which is coming up this week on Sunday when Venus comes back into Pisces. So the fact that that's getting ready to happen this weekend, while Mercury's moving into Taurus and shadow, getting ready for retrograde, Saturn's at the galactic center point, ready to go retrograde. Jupiter and Pluto are squaring at this exact time right now. It's ready to explode, you know? And so it's pretty intense. It's not, I don't know. This is definitely not a time where it's boring and people are kind of sitting around. You know, people are kind of realizing like, I need to make a holy shift in my life right now. I got to make a big change, and it's got to deal with relationships, money, projects, creation, you know, how you make your money. I mean, it's a lot. And with all this energy in Libra, with Jupiter retrograde and with Venus retrograding in Aries, once Venus comes back into Pisces this weekend, it's gonna change, because it's coming. You know, you got to remember that with Jupiter in Libra and with Venus in detriment in Aries, it's kind of bringing the relationship thing up really intense. But when it comes back into Pisces, it's gonna deal, I think, a lot more with deeper soul connections. There's a lot that we have to kind of finish up with before we get to these exciting new zones in our life that we want to go. And that clarity and that cleanliness that needs to happen, that karma that needs to change, is about to happen starting this weekend. It really starts this weekend on Sunday. That's why we're doing this show on April 2nd. I mean, I know people have been seeing me promote it, but it's like the thing about Jupiter and Pluto is, Pluto, whenever it's in transit, you don't really notice it sometimes. It's in the background, and then it will just smack you hard and hit you really hard. And when it comes to Jupiter, opening new doors, opening new relationships, opening new partnerships, looking at partnerships, where is the worth wrong? Where is the worth right? Where's the worth right? Gosh, it's a crazy little road that we're on right now. It's about to get very intense. So, you know, I would be prepared for some pretty crazy shit to start going down starting Sunday. I think that there's a little bit of a break from now until Sunday because of the fact that the moon will be in Gemini, but once that moon comes into Cancer and comes into a big cardinal cross, basically, oh boy, it's gonna be very intense. And then Mercury comes into Taurus tomorrow. We have Venus switching signs and going over the 0 point. And remember, the 0 point of Aries is the beginning start point of the chart, and then it comes to the 29th degree of Pisces, which is the end of the chart. So we're going through this extremely karmic zone of fulfilling what our destiny was and bringing back energy from March and April of 2009 and how that is connected to where you're going now. I mean, do the math. The last time that Venus retrograded here was March and April of 2009. Who was in your life then? What were you doing then? It's kind of funny. The guy behind the camera right now was hanging out with me then, and then he's back in my life now. Randomly, just popped up in my life again. Like I was in the shower this morning thinking about all the things I was doing at that time in my life. I was like, oh, I want to be a DJ. Oh, I want to do astrology full time. You know, it's like, here it is. Now I was like, oh, I want to be a jet ski racer now. It's like there's this weird circular pattern that's happening. And with Jupiter square Pluto, you got to see that this time, what were you doing in 2013 when Jupiter was in Cancer and it opposed Pluto? It's bringing out that aspect as well. You got to think about that. And 2014, Jupiter was in Cancer too. Especially early 2014, after it got out of direct motion and it started to oppose Pluto. So there's lots of things that connect here, but there's a lot when it comes to really seeing that there's something major stirring, and the universe is kind of ready to let this huge, you know, I call it fireworks, let's call it a volcano about to erupt, and it's like pushing it down, like we're not ready yet. And that's what the moon in Taurus is right now. It's stabilizing things. Mars is there stabilizing things, and we're not going to see moon in Taurus with Mars in Taurus again for a couple of years. So this is kind of the last call, the next 24 hours of like, what is your worth? What do you know you're gonna do? Because the karma that's about to come in is gonna just define where your life is. You need to make a choice in your life right now. What do you really want in your life? What do you wanna build? Do you want a McDonald's chicken sandwich for your life? Or do you want well, for the vegans out there, a really high course, you know, vegan dinner? Or do you want like a high class steak? You know, I'm using for the meat eaters out there. It's like, it's pretty clear in your life what you want and what you don't want right now, and here it is. It's all about to change, and it's all waiting on this major decision point that's about to happen. Plus, if you look at what's about to happen in the next week, Mars is going to trine Pluto and explode this whole thing. So for those that are just choosing not to pay attention to it and just kind of be like, oh yeah, life's just, whatever, I don't know where it's going, and da 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 da. No, it's asking for you. It's right in front of your face right now. The universe actually has this decision point right in front of your face. Which road do you want to take? Which destiny do you want to take? And do you really want to fulfill a destiny, or do you not? Do you just want to hang back and not go? And that's going to be, I think, a major question that's asked from you, from the universe, So, kind of interesting to see. How many people we got in there?
We're at 453.
Oh, all right. We have any good questions that anybody got?
A lot of people are asking about what that means for relationships, and people are asking where you are speaking this weekend.
Oh, okay. So we'll do the speaking because that's quick. I'm speaking in San Diego. The location is private. It's not public. It's in I think it's like what is it? La Costa or something, somewhere down there. It's like Coronado. I don't know. It's northern San Diego, ritzy area on the beach. At a really nice house, and it's extremely nice. Amazing backyard, ocean views with a huge meditation place. We don't got many tickets left if you want to see me in person, but if you want to watch the pay-per-view where we're going to be doing things live and everything, go below on my Facebook, all the listings there. The website's pathoftheprophecies.com. Now about the relationship thing. That's tricky. I think that's the trickiest thing of this whole entire aspect is the relationship thing, because the fact that Venus is getting ready to square Saturn, as Saturn's getting ready to go retrograde too. I think that with the relationship thing, it's choosing who is going to take you on your greatest destiny path in your life and who's not. And that's a hard choice. There's people we love in our life, there's people we care about, there's people that we want to give all of our compassion to, but this is a North Node in Virgo opposing this Venus retrograde in many aspects. The South Node is in Pisces, and Venus is going to be in its home sign, or not its home sign, but its exaltation. I think that this is tough choices about your future with relationships and who feels aligned with your destiny and not. There are positive destinies and there are negative ones, and there are toxic relationships and there are clean ones. And sometimes the toxic ones are the most addicting, the most fun, and the most wild. But you know what? They also lead towards you not on your path. They also lead towards not maybe the door isn't open that you want to open in your life. So it's kind of a politician's move with relationships. Like, this is the relationship that's the best for me. It's going to take me in the best place. It might be a little bit not as edgy as I've wanted it to be, but it's good for me. It's the right thing for me, and it's going to take me where I want to go. That's what this is about. And I think that's the toughest part of this is that. And my phone, I have oil on my hands, so it's not working. I'm trying to share this to the Facebook groups, but not working. So, any other good questions we got?
Should people be jumping into new careers, or should they be waiting? Or
that's a good question. Should people be jumping careers? I don't think that you should be jumping from being a firefighter to a policeman. But maybe if there's a new fire department that's open to you with better alignments, that's a better aspect. I think that this is kind of a moment where maybe internally, sure, if you're a office worker and you're ready to start your own business, it's like maybe there's still some more things to get together, but at least you know what it is, and you've got to clear it all first, Like, I think that there's a little bit of a delay through April until things get really moving in May, when the North Node switches, when Venus is out of its shadow. Well, it's not out of its shadow, but it's out of retrograde. It's starting to move forward. Mars moves into Gemini. The Sun, comes into Taurus, and it's going to be crazy. April's going to be crazy. May's going to be amazing. By the new moon, May 24th in Gemini, and that week into June 5th or 6th, or right around there, is going to be the best time, one of the best times of the whole year. So you need to set yourself up now and get in the right position and watch it all kind of unfold. as far as like jumping from one career to a whole different one, I think like if you've done it before, it's a good idea. If you've never done it before, you know, and you're deciding it now, this was something that should have been like looked at a month or two ago when Mercury was going through Pisces, and then Mercury went into Aries, and then we had Venus, which was, you know, this was already figured out, you know. I hope that makes sense. You know, I think it's a little difficult for people to, you know, make sense of this because it's a little confusing, this moment. The clearest I can be is, what is a higher path for you and a destiny path, and people that are there for you in your life right now that will take you there, and what are the people that are not seeing it, not doing it, not the best for you, even though you want to do the best with them, you know it's just not right. Hope that answered the question.
What's going on with Mars next week? People are curious.
People are curious about Mars as it's going to come into trine with Pluto, probably, is what people are asking. Is there's going to be the activation of Pluto, which is going to bring a lot of intensity in people's lives, a lot of change to their world, and also this new commitment to a new self-worth in their life. You know, this is going to be a time where people step up their game or they don't. You step up your worth, you have to step into some courageous moments that are going to have you change your legacy or not. That's what Mars is doing next week. This sucks. This didn't work. My phone is literally not working. Already Mercury retrograde's getting ready. Crazy. Other than that, anybody else?
Asking about manifesting dreams. Is it a tough time right now? Or when would be the best time?
This is the best time in the world to manifest dreams. You just gotta get out of the toxic situations that are holding you back. That's what the South Node of Pisces has been about. There is more physical energy in the universe right now than we've seen in years, so don't waste it. And it's gonna get even more in 2018 and 2019. But with this fire and air that we have right now of Saturn in Sagittarius and Jupiter in Libra, this is where the creativity and the excitement of it, and it gives you the momentum to do something with the physical energy. Without that energy, with all the physical, it's gonna be kind of dead and like moving boulders around, but you gotta have that hope that you're moving boulders for something right. It's like building the pyramids, right? Like that was probably during a time with a lot of fire and air, the idea of it and ready to go and getting it ready, but then, you know, when Saturn moves into Capricorn, Jupiter moves into Scorpio, okay, people are moving fucking boulders up and they're doing all the work and they're building these fucking pyramids, you know what I mean? And it's like they're living off this idea and this hope of it all for their God or whatever the hell it is that they're doing it for, but you know, that energy already happened. So I would not fuck around right now. You know, this is it. Dreams can be happening right now, but it's whether or not you're ready to cut the cords of your own addictions, relationships that just aren't opening the right doors for you. That it's like you have the God has put everything in front of you right now. This is not waiting for something to show up. This is you taking what's already in front of you and realizing that the doors are right there in front of you right now. There is no such thing as you need to wait for it, that you can't manifest it. That's all bullshit. Oh, I hope that one helps.
But how about what can Virgos expect short term? And
oh yeah, everybody, I don't do sun sign horoscopes on these live feeds because it's unfair to the 11 other signs that are talking right now.
What can they expect with the Saturn retrograde?
The Saturn retrograde is going to be where you've realized that you have reached your destiny choice. You've made a choice. And now it's time to see what it looks like in your life. I think a lot of people have already made a somewhat philosophical choice of where they're going to go with their destiny, but they haven't seen what it actually looks like yet. Starting April 6th, it's actually going to start to see what that world looks like, you know. That's going to be kind of interesting to see.
About incepted houses in the natal charts. What it means to have two signs with no house.
Intercepted houses in somebody's natal chart means that they have issues in those two signs. So if they have intercept in Taurus and Scorpio, they have Taurus and Scorpio issues, probably manifesting issues, self-worth issues, connection issues. If they have it in Leo and Aquarius, they have love and self-enlightenment issues, connection to the world, audience issues, self-worth with their own creativity. If they've got it in Gemini and Sag, they've got mental / philosophical head issues, understanding how the world works, understanding their environment, lost in travel, lost in this place. It's an issue. It's a soul issue. And if you see nodes in the same place or whatever planets are in there, those are issues of that issue. That happens as well.
The global effects of Venus retrograde.
I think the global effects of Venus retrograde are people realizing that who they represent themselves as and the people that they connect with mirror their destiny. So if I connect with, I was going to use like a really crazy ideal group. Like if I connect with the KKK, then, there's this kind of dark road destiny I would be going down. If I connect with the spiritual astrology group on the web, that's the destiny I'm going down. People are having to choose what they identify with in their life, the kind of people that they identify with. And by doing that, they actually manifest the reality, but more importantly, the destiny that they're gonna go down and their legacy that they're gonna leave on the planet and the adventure that they're about to head into. Saturn in Sagittarius is deciding what adventure they are all going on, and especially that Saturn is in Jupiter-ruled Sagittarius while Jupiter is in Libra, which represents relationships, means the doors that the relationships you're in are what open the doors, and the people that you're in. The ones that you choose, it's interesting. I can look at relationships I want to be in my life, whether they're love, whether they're business, whether they're anything, and I look down that door and I go, you know what? I can see a road, I can see a journey there, but it's just not going to take me to where I really want to go. And especially that Saturn's at the galactic center point, it's like, you know what, that's not what I came down here on Earth for. I came down here on Earth for this. People are going to come back into your lives right now for a reason. Everybody in my life that's surrounding me right now was in my life at a time in my life a decade ago or more. And they all just came back, like, boom. And do you think that's a coincidence on a Venus retrograde? No, it's not a coincidence. So everybody's getting aligned for their ship to their destiny. Are you sure that the people in front of the ship that you're about to walk into are the right one?
I think this is a good time to have any tough conversations, or is it
This is the best time to have tough conversations. They're going to get tougher over the next 2 weeks. They're going to be extremely tough by the middle of April. They're going to be extremely tough from April 9th through 13th and 14th, right in there. That'll be a lot of stuff going on.
What about potentially breaking away from business partners that you've had for a long time?
There's a lot of that going on. The best example I can use is look at Brexit yesterday, signing their divorce with the EU. They're not aligned with that anymore. People are not aligned with certain, people anymore. So when it comes to the job thing, this is about the people in that job. That do you align with them or not? And going towards a job where the right people are, and that is the right energy, and utilize the skills you already have, especially with Mars and Taurus, using skills you already have. This isn't a time to go learn new skills that you haven't learned before. If you already got those skills in the bag, maybe you don't know how to do them, but you already have the tools, it's a right place to go, Maybe you got to bring back some old skill that you haven't used. Like for me, I had to bring back the skill of working on motors and understanding boats, and I was in the boat industry before I was an astrologer. That's why I'm back in the race and boat industry. This is what I did before my whole life, and it's bringing those skills back. But I'm not going to go try and be a a race car driver. I never worked in cars and race cars. I sold cars, but I never worked in race cars, and I never raced cars, and I never worked with race cars ever. So, you know, to go be a race car driver right now would be a freaking retarded thing for me to go do right now, because it has no identity with anything that comes from my skills or my tool bag or anything that I've done right now in my life. But you know what? I pulled on something that was way old I used to do way back again, and it's come back. That's the answer to the job thing, because I don't think I was clear enough on that earlier.
In Chiron?
Chiron's nearing the end of Pisces. Chiron's getting ready to square Saturn again, so guess what? It's not going to be an easy destiny road. You're going to have to deal with a lot of things that fall apart, and that God has a perfect way for you to get there, and it's not the way that you exactly see it. So, to get to where you want to go in your life, the way that you get there is going to be a weird, windy road with some swamps and some weird areas that are a little tricky and a little weird, and it's not the road that maybe you thought that you would take, but God knows the best road for you to get there, and you need to be able to surrender to that and let go to that to get to that destiny point.
I think, are there any specific signs that it's going to be tougher?
It's going to be hard.
Now?
It's going to be hit all signs. All signs are hit equally.
Personally, what is your favorite way to manifest?
My favorite way to manifest in my life? Oh, wow. I drink Sprite. I'll say this, and actually Craig probably knows this. So I really wanted to get on this reality show in 2009 called True Beauty on ABC. And so I was like, it was my obsession. It was like I was on unemployment. I had no money except my unemployment money, and I really wanted to get on the show. And there was 30,000 auditions, and I had to somehow get one of those 10 spots. I rolled my own candles. I met this guy. He's awesome. His name's Matt. He's a Leo, and he used to give me wax to roll my own candles. Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay, and what I would do is I would roll the candle with the intentions of what I wanted to manifest, and then I'd light the candle and let those intentions be burned into the ether while I would do a meditation, while I'd play music. And for me, I play house music, so I'd DJ, and then I would light the candles, and then I'd have a good time. I want to be in a good place. So manifesting, you have to be in a heart-centered place. Like, you need to be like, oh, I really want this. And I really would die and do everything and put my heart into this all the way. If you're kind of like, oh, I want this, but, you know, you got to have that, like, that desire, that ready to sink your teeth in. And so that was one way I learned how to manifest early on. But it was 100% belief that it was going to happen. And trusting that alignment and looking to see if my life fit in that category and if I could see the trajectory of that. This is a time for manifesting where it should feel like old pieces are coming back together. That's where Venus is manifesting. And the fact that Venus is coming back into Pisces in a retrograde to square Saturn 8 years later, but with Saturn now this time squaring it in Sagittarius, this 100% means that old pieces need to come back together to make great things happen. Old relationships, old people, old things, things you've done before, past karmic stuff that didn't get finished, coming together to make things finished. You've got to learn that life is always a reflection. We always got to look back at the water or the mirror. We always got to look back at it and remember who we are, remember, because if we get too caught forward in life and we don't look back, we forget who we are, we forget to, you know, do things. Like if I always forget that when I smoke methamphetamine, my life goes down the tubes, right? Like, it's those past experiences that remind me to not smoke methamphetamine. I actually wanted to do a video on this. I was talking to Craig about this today. Like, I think that pornography is very bad. But there was a time, and even just years ago, where I thought pornography was good. I was like, oh yeah, porn's chill. But I realized when I look back in my life when I used to watch pornography, that it's not good for my soul, that it doesn't make me feel good, it it made me manifest a little bit, but not like I'm manifesting now without watching pornography. And also, and I'm gonna just touch on the sex thing because you guys know I don't give a fuck. I'll talk about anything. I'll cuss. I'll talk about sex all day long. Manifesting stronger right now without masturbating as much is like 10 times more than I ever did while masturbating every day, or while always having sex all the time, or whatever. Like my poor fiance, like before I race, I'm always like, okay, 2 days before the race, you're not getting it, girl. And you know, you're like, oh man, like, you know, and I'm even that way, but it's like, I wanna have my energy, I wanna have my manifesting energy, because that sexual power, our root chakra, when we give that energy off, you gotta be careful with that thing. And pornography steals it from you and takes it away from you and pulls it away. And for so long I thought it was fine, but I also realized I was spending a lot of time in my house. I was having a lot of anxiety. It was pulling my energy away. And especially the energy of that's in the pornography. I mean, I don't know, if maybe they made some really high conscious spiritual pornography, maybe it'd be a good thing. I don't know, where maybe they did a whole prayer session before it. It was like a love tantric porno thing. Maybe I'll co-create the next spiritual porno website. I don't know. But, you know, 99% of that crap is very dark and not good for your soul and manifesting. So that's another manifesting skill I can give you, is cut the porn out. If you watch that, cut out. Make sure that you watch how you use your masturbation, and make sure that you know how you use your manifesting skills with sex and who you're connecting with sex, because, you know, that's a big one that for a long time I tried to deny that one until I really saw the other side. I saw the reflection and was like, oh wow. These are gonna be things we're gonna be talking about on the pay-per-view actually on Sunday. So thanks for everybody watching. I really appreciate it. pathoftheprophecies.com. I also have some big announcements coming out about the app, which it looks like it is changing. If you're on the app now, it's gonna be a pretty seamless changeover. You won't have to do nothing. You'll just go to a new app and log in like you normally do, and it'll all be good, and it'll be charged all. But I have some big things that are changing right now. I can't announce them yet. So anyway, thanks for all the support. I truly appreciate it. And pathoftheprophecies.com. Of course, if you want to watch the daily horoscope every day, get that at the leokingapp.com as well on my Android or my iPhone, or Android or iPhone apps. And get that spiritual dance music mix I just put up on Facebook down below of 432 Hertz. It's awesome. Go listen to it tonight. Listen to it. Venus is moving to the morning star right now as we speak. It's coming out of the underworld, and it's time for you to come out of the underworld and wait for this explosion to happen. Are you going to align with the right people, the right energy, in the right direction, or not? Thanks so much. See you later.